Ah! Oh shit. Oh shit. In today's video, we are going to be talking about setting goals. We're going to be talking about setting goals. Don't you want to be Saitama bold ass nigga who worked his ass off? You can be this. You can be this guy. One Punch Man. If you don't know anything about One Punch Man, you're into it. So yeah, today's video is going to be about setting goals. So the reason I decided to do this video next is because, you know, the new year's coming up. Everyone's about to be in their 2026 grind, and it's important to know what type of goals to set before you get into the new year. So everything that I'm living right now, literally every single thing that I'm living right now, has been a result of my goal. The way I'm built, the way I look physically, the way not only the way I'm built, but also the way my hair is. I've always wanted dreads. I've always wanted to be skinnier and more, you know, fit, handsome, sexy. You know what I mean? I've always wanted to move out of America. I'm in a whole different country right now. I'm not even in America anymore. And I've always wanted to become the person I'm becoming every single day, slowly. And that's why goals are super crucial, because if you want to become the dream version of yourself, you need to know what that version looks like. Like I know a lot of people don't even have a dream version of themselves. They don't know what they're going to want to be in like 5 to 10 years. Because of that, they are this person that like they're going to end up being just another average person. You need to have an ideal version of yourself in your head, and that's why you need to set goals. If you don't set goals, you're just drifting aimlessly. So yeah, and the reason I'm saying this is because I used to be fat myself. I used to be really fat, 5'5", 210 pounds. Now I'm 5'11", around 170, 160 probably. Yes, now I'm kind of skinny. But when you set goals, they make you act differently. I was going to the gym for like 2 years straight, and I still go to the gym every single day as much as possible, because I set the goal that I want to be fit. I want to be this man that's healthy. I want to be physically, you know, appealing. And so because of that, I made sure that I go to the gym as often as possible. I push myself as often as possible, and I do the hard thing because that's in alignment of who I'm becoming. And so I'm saying, if you have a goal, it's important that you just set them out in your head, a goal, ideal version of yourself, so that you can go towards that version of yourself every single day, do actions that will push you into the right atmosphere of that version, and become as close to that version as you can. This is Tony Robbins quote, because I was reading an article before I made this video. This is Tony Robbins quote that summarizes it perfectly, and he says that setting goals is the first step from making something invisible to visible. What he means by that with this quote is, the fact is, if you don't have an idea of what you want, it's never going to be visible to you. You need to make your life a visible journey of what you are becoming. Here's one of my biggest issues when it comes to goals. It's the fact is, a lot of niggas think that you should set a time frame. They think that you need to be like, you know, doing some crazy out of this world Superman level shit within a certain amount of time, but you know, it's not realistic. So the thing is, I've had this problem myself, and I know plenty of people have this problem. Like I said, you're setting these goals that just are not possible, and then when you don't reach these goals, they destroy your confidence. They destroy who you think you're becoming. So it's important that you make sure that if you are going to set a time frame on your goal, you give yourself way more time than you need. That goes hand in hand with the law of, oh my god, Parkinson's law. That goes hand in hand with the Parkinson's law, where, you know, Parkinson's law says a level of an amount of work that you have will always fill up the time allotted for that work. So let's say you have 3 months to do something like clean your room. You're going to take 3 months to clean your room, right? But the thing with it is, you can also use Parkinson's law to your advantage. So if you were to set a timeline for a goal but not make it super strict, right, it'll push you in that direction of that timeline, and that'll make you way faster going towards that goal. But if you have a super strict timeline and you really expect to have a goal done by like 3 months, like let's say I want to be like fucking have 1 million subscribers in 3 months, bro, I'd obviously hate my life after if I was very convicted to do that and I thought that would be there. But if I just use that as a longer term goal, like I want to be 1 million subscribers in 3 months, reach 3 months, but I'm actively working, like I want to reach that towards the 3 months, I'll be a lot closer to 1 million than I would if I don't act like that. You know what I'm saying? So a quote that goes hand in hand with this is that wealthy people, they think in decades, right? They think over longer periods of time. They think of like, what can I do in this decade? What can I do in that decade? Blah, blah, blah. Whereas like, you know, poorer people who aren't as good at setting goals, they'll set goals for this week or maybe this month or whatever. They'll set way less time tangible goals, which will always lead to disappointment and lack of confidence and more pain. So it's important that you make sure your goals either have realistic timelines, you aren't super strict about them, or you think in decades. Here's the key to actually making sure your goals are intertwined with you every single day, and it's called reverse engineering your goals. When you reverse engineer your goals, it makes it to where you take your goal and you break it down into pieces, right? You write it out, and then you can do these steps and take these actions to reach it, and know that it will become inevitable. It will make your goal a reality no matter how long it takes, because you know what you need to do to get it. A perfect example of this is if you wanted like a brand new Corvette. You'd want to look up the price of the Corvette, see how much it costs, and you want to compare how much your income is right now for that Corvette, and then you want to break it down and combine how much far you are from it, from where you are and then you can write in steps that will help you reach that goal, that will help you reach that Corvette. Because it's one thing to have a goal and just hope for it, and it's another thing to actually be doing steps every single day that are moving you slightly closer and closer and closer to the goal. So to me, I think reverse engineering a goal is a 10 times more powerful and way more impactful and helpful to your life than having a time frame. Like time frames on goals can really mess with your mind. So, because it's messed with mine in the past, that's what I'm saying. So let's do the Jerome versus Phil argument. Jerome is the Chad who always knows how to set proper goals and knows what he's doing when he sets his goals. He sets his goals for his whole life. He doesn't do just a couple days or a week or whatever. He actually has long-term goals and he knows what he wants to be and where he's going to go. He decides his goals based on his identity that he wants to become. He doesn't do it based on what people are trying to put into his head, what he thinks other people would define satisfying goals. He does his own goals. He's completely in his own mind. He's his own person. He reverse engineers his goals so that he's doing them every single day, and he's slowly every single day becoming that version of himself that has the goal done or is getting closer and closer. So he really thinks about his goals, he sets them there, and he doesn't change them, and he just moves towards them slowly and day by day, bit by bit. Phil is actually literally the opposite. He sets goals with unrealistic timelines that will end up hurting his confidence in the end. He gets disappointed when you can't reach one, because that's what happens when you have an unrealistic timeline goal and you're super strict about it and you really expect to get it done by that point. Then you get disappointed and you don't even want to do goals anymore. And he wants goals based on helping him feel more validated, based on flexing on people that have hurt him in the past, based on things that are not really aligned with who he's becoming. He just wants goals that will make people like jealous of him. He's a loser. Phil's a loser. Don't be Phil. And so I just felt like this video might be a help to someone out there who's, making goals for 2026 and they don't know exactly like what to do, and they've always failed their 2026 goals. Use this video. It will help you with making a goal that is actually fathomable. A goal that's actually fathomable and tangible. So if you use this video, you reverse engineer your goals, you don't give them timelines, and you just start implementing them into your schedule, you'll reach every single goal you want to reach by the end of 2026, unless it's like you want to completely switch your life around. It might take you a little bit longer than a year, but you don't know. That's what I'm saying. But for real, this is to help the people who are going to go into 2026 with a whole list of goals, because I know it's hard and I know it's kind of pressureful, and so I'm trying to help as many people as possible. If you guys enjoyed the video, if you got any value out of it, if you learned anything about setting goals, make sure you drop a comment, drop a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.